right. Welcome to the Teachsimple podcast. My name is Calvin Nellum. I am the grandson of a manager of a cafeteria. I am the son of my wife is looking at me like, I was trying to practice this and it worked. Dang. All right. Let me start over again. My name is Calvin Nellum, and I am the grandson of a hardworking woman. Her name is Nellum. She worked in a cafeteria pretty much her whole life and raised 7 kids. One of those kids was my mother, Nidra West, who was a teacher for New Orleans Public School Boards and New Orleans Public Schools for 40 years. And she's the reason why I'm the teacher today. So, Mr. Nellum, back in the house, and I got my brother. What's your name, brother man?
My name is Brian Ferguson-Bey, and I am the son of Willie Ferguson Sr. and Gloria Ferguson. Both great influencers in my life.
And as you can see, swag level is on 100, right? All you had to do is just say one sentence, and everybody like, who is this? Right? Just sounds like just melting your ears, right? Go ahead, Brian. Say that again, man. Just repeat exactly what you said. I'm just joking. Welcome, man. How you doing, man? How you doing?
I'm doing great, brother.
Yeah, man.
Living life and enjoying and learning and continuing to elevate.
Elevate, bro. It's all about elevating, getting better, growing. You know what I'm saying? I'm just so happy that I was able to, I'm blessed to, share this space with you, understanding that life is uncertain, during these crazy times. It's just really, really powerful, to know that, that we have people that are, there for us and is willing to work with us.
Absolutely, man. It's my pleasure as well. I know from our interactions with one another, I get that vibe, that we're on the same wavelength, from the way that we speak and from the things that we speak about. So when you invited me, I was, welcome, man,
Yeah, man.
Felt great about it.
This is like my brother, like big brother from another mother, and I've only known him for like a couple of months. We instantly click. I can honestly tell you this brother is really, really genuine, and he's about doing the work. And at Teachsimple podcast, we have this new series where we, focus on educators in Detroit and really highlight the positive things that they're doing. And Brian's the first one, so welcome, man.
Oh, thank you, man. I'm the first. Oh, dog.
Yeah,
Come
bro,
on, man.
The first one, man.
Dang.
Yeah, man.
All right.
So
Gotta set the
Teachsimple
bar high.
Yeah. You better, man. Sorry.
Rep for the D.
Rep for the D, and that's what we're going to talk about. But we're going to also, talk about you and just like why education, man, and just like, why. But before you do that, Teachsimple podcast, I would like to start off with a teacher tip of the week. School just started, and so my teacher tip of the week is really for all my teachers who's doing in-person or virtual, is just take your time. All right? Take your time, but bring that energy, okay? Bring that same energy that you did when you was in front of those kids, right? You don't got, Timmy and Tom and LeBron and whoever else is in your class, doing what they usually do. They're doing it virtually. And so we have to make sure we bring in that energy and we're constantly reflecting on our lessons, right? My school, we're doing block schedules. So I'm doing the same lesson like twice in a week. And the first day, it wasn't that good. It was like a 6. But today I killed it, because I reflected,
Yes.
Despite us being, virtual, we still have to bring that energy. Understanding the scholars that we serve, and the scholars that me and Brian serve, that achievement gap has widened. It grew. Because of this pandemic. Because there were already other pandemics that were present that we didn't address, and so we have to understand that we got to keep that same energy. Bring that energy, no matter you in person or virtual, right? Now, I understand that's a lot to ask for because it's a pandemic, and so I can honestly tell you, do that to your discretion, but our kids need it, so that's my teacher tip of the week.
Can I add a tip? Can I add a piece to that? I think that we also got to have that expectation level still. You got to maintain the expectation level because just like you said, we had pandemic issues before the corona pandemic that were not being addressed, especially in regards to education. And that pandemic of the corona has set us back and, it widened that gap of learning not happening and all of the things that the stigmas that come with public education. So we got to maintain that expectation level and expecting them to rise to the occasion and making sure that they're doing their due diligence and engaging in the content and being the great scholars that we know that they are.
Absolutely, man. Expectation, man. Expectations is the key. T313, shout out to T313. They're our sponsors for today. T313 is an organization. We want Detroit to be the best place for teachers. Brian, why do you think we want Detroit to be the best, right? Not just average, but the best.
Detroit has always been we're trendsetters,
Mm-hmm.
in any regard. So I think that's just like second nature to for us, being the best at anything that we could possibly do, whether it being the Motor City, whether it being education, whether it being producers of spiritual leaders.
Yeah.
We've always prided ourselves on being the best. Motown. I mean, come on, man. That's just what we do. That's like in our nature to be the best.
Motown, easy, right?
Yeah.
You got to drop that little jewel, and then you got, you got the cars, and you got so much history.
Yeah.
You got
Nation of Islam we had the first mosque here.
Yes, J Dilla.
Yeah, Motor City.
Motor City.
Well, yeah.
So yeah, man. So definitely, Teach Room 3, we want Detroit to be the best place for teachers because our kids deserve it. You know what I'm saying? Just because it ain't about money. Just because you got money don't mean you get the best teacher. No, we get the best teacher because we humans, right? And so Teach Room 3, we want that. Also, shout out to New Victory Ministries. New Victory Ministries, a place where you can get the word, but also get the knowledge where you can push yourselves to greater things and also hopefully put some money in your pocket. So shout out to New Victory Ministries. So I was telling you about the Big Sean album Detroit 2, man. Like, you gotta check it out, bro. Like, it's I can honestly tell you. So I'm a music connoisseur. I love music. I'm from New Orleans. My first song that I remember was the Men in Black song by Will Smith, bro. I know you know what I'm talking about, man. Listen, man. That's the song I remember.
That's the song you remember, right?
Yeah, man.
Okay.
But it was like so many different genres, right? And like Detroit, it's the second one. And there's a interlude with Erykah Badu, right? And you know, she has a lot of history in Detroit, right?
Absolutely,
with,
tied to J Dilla, like
exactly,
you
right.
explained.
And I was listening to it, and she said something. I had to play it back, bro. She was like, Detroit is just it's a hidden jewel, right? And
absolutely,
there's so much intellect. She said that when she was here in Detroit, she got inspired by the hidden intellects that were present, and from there she was able to create. Didn't You Know, and all the amazing work that she made with J Dilla and Common and all those, those Afrocentric artists during that time, right? And I can honestly tell you, brother, man, like when I first got to Detroit, I noticed the exact same thing, right?
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's dope.
Because off jump, people were like, Detroit? Why? You know what I'm saying?
Hey,
ignorant.
Only if you knew.
But we different, right? We change agents. And we're not about doing what's the custom, the norm. We dynamic. We're not linear, right? And
absolutely.
So I realized that Detroit has so many hidden jewels. And so, brother, man, who is Brian Ferguson? And, like, where are you from, man? And how important is your home? How important is Detroit to you?
Man, I'm from the D, homegrown, and my home is very important. I'm from 8 Mile in Livernois. That's my proving grounds, and that's where I was raised. And Detroit is it's special. I mean, like you said, all of the things that you mentioned before, and all of the things that we interjected towards when we talked about the things that we provided. When we talked about spiritual base, we got probably the largest spiritual advisors. Most of them graduate from Detroit public schools. When you look at the Winans, when you look at a lot of the faith-based organizations that are headed by people who graduated from Detroit public schools. It's most notably, I'm going to be biased a little bit, Mumford High School produced a lot of those people. So when we talk about Detroit, we're talking about being the trendsetters, and just like you alluded to earlier, Detroit is definitely well respected amongst other big urban cities. You know, when they say you're from Detroit and you go out of town, they be like, oh yeah, that guy right there or that girl right there. You know, we know that's something special right there. You know, so Detroit has always been on that cutting edge when it comes to those types of things, especially when you talk about fashion and eventually making our way in the hip hop game and obviously Motown. So those things right there are pieces of the seasoning that, you know, helps to raise a guy like me being homegrown from Detroit. So Detroit is a special place, and it can be tough at times, but at the same time, that toughness, you know, it makes you well versed.
And the food is amazing.
The food is messy. Yeah.
Bro.
The food is great, man. Yeah.
Talking about hidden intellect, like hidden gems. Bro, I was like, yo, this pizza is like literally staying in my mouth. I don't even want to chew it. I'm like, yo, it's so good. I was calling my wife. I was like, May. Right? I was like, May, this pizza is to die for. And as soon as the first time visit, I got her that pizza. She was like, wow. But anyways, man. What's your favorite like food here? Like, is it Jets or Happy's, or is it like what? Like, do you like dining in? Like, what's your cuisine in Detroit? Do you like Middle Eastern?
Yeah, and that's the great thing that you're talking about. It has that great mixture of different places that you can go to. You know, if you want to go to Mediterranean, if you want to go to Southwest Detroit, get you some good Mexican cuisine. You know, obviously we got tons of soul food places.
Everywhere.
So, you know, you might want to go get some Italian. So it has all of those places where you can go to get those tasted those cuisines that you crave or that you might have, that you might want or desire. But I think Detroit, I'm going to put it out there, the best thing that we have in Detroit, and it's not always good for you. It's the Coney Island, man. It's just what it is.
Okay, you got
hands down is the Coney Island, man.
What's Coney Island? Like,
so,
you gotta explain it for the audience.
All right, so the Coney Island is like, you know, you go to a restaurant and you have the opportunity to get you a burger. You know, you have the opportunity to get you chili dogs. You have the opportunity to get you some wingdings with chili cheese fries. You know, so you know, as you get older though, you can't always eat those things. But I'm telling you, hands down, when people go away from Detroit, like if they move to another city, the first thing they always say when they come back is, "Man, I'm going to Coney Island." You know, it's every hood has one. You know, so it's that's what, yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah, bro. So that's a little cultural. There's more, you know, but you gotta be at a different level to get the rest. You know what I'm saying? I'm just playing. All right, so let's talk about your childhood a little bit, brother, man. So like, what was it like growing up in Detroit? Like, what were your heroes? What did you aspire? What were some of your fears growing up? And kind of like, how did that lead you to where you are now? And that's kind of like a hard question. So I guess what I'm trying to say is like, what did you wish as a kid growing up? What do you wish you had that you didn't have? That you now have now. So like growing up, but kind of talk about like your childhood.
I guess I wish, you know, probably like any other kid, I wish I would have had my father. He was in my life, but he wasn't as active. You know, he was, you know, worked at the factory.
Okay.
I knew who he was. If I needed some money, you know, my mom could call him. But I guess I wish I would have had that person who would have, you know, that male figure who would have been active in my life, you know, and, you know, just talking to me and putting me on different paths and game and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like the upbringing, though. You know, when you don't have that, you look for other people to replace that. So growing up in the hood, you know, it was the drug dealers. You know, it was the people who were a little bit older than you and they were dealing drugs. But, you know, they would tell you, hey, man, you better not do this. Or, they, you know, they were still doing their thing, but they would, you know, also tell you what not to do, you know, so that you wouldn't fall into that trap. So those were the people that we looked up to and we kind of like idolized because they had the money, they had the cars, and we knew who they were. But at the same time, they were kind of still like protectors of the community. You know, they still had a good heart, so to speak. And those were people who we looked up towards during those times. Because remember, especially in the 80s, you know, when crack first hit, man, it was devastating. You know, it was decimating. Where you know, you would see older people becoming strung out on drugs that you knew, you know, and then you knew on your block if you had a house, or if they had a house, it could turn into a crack house, you know. So it was decimating in that regard, where you had older women who were very beautiful, you know, and then with the onset of crack, you know, it turned them into, as RZA said in one of his documentaries, zombies, man, you know, and it messed the hood up, you know, so to speak. So I think that was kind of still like the proving ground of making a person and helping them to endure the hardships of being in the community. But at the same time, these people eventually, the younger people like around my age, were able to grow out of that, hopefully, and make themselves better, you know. But from that experience, I think that it helped to shape them and motivate them to be better than what the environment produced at that particular time.
And would you say that's probably due to like the change agents in your neighborhood that made a difference, that stirred you to a different direction that was constructive and productive? Because I know for me, I did have peers who, you know, had that lifestyle, but I also, you know, had mentors that taught me things, that told me that if I make these certain decisions, then this is the consequence, and I was able to make those decisions on my own. But they were there, you know what I'm saying? But did
Absolutely.
you had those changes,
Absolutely.
right? They were
Yeah,
there, right?
yeah,
Physically, right?
Yeah,
you
absolutely.
got anybody that you can shout out?
Oh yeah, we're gonna shout out a lot of people. Yeah, I mean, well, a couple people. We're gonna shout out.
Shout them out.
We're gonna shout out in the neighborhood. You know, we call him the Godfather, Mr. Stewart. You know, he was a roofer, and but you know, he would always talk to us. You know, and you know, being a young man, as like I said before, you're always looking for that male role model to kind of stir you up and put you on the right path. And he would always, you know, talk to us, you know, about the important things and not so important things. Yeah. But at the same time, you know, it was always somebody who was, you know, in the community and who was, you know, accessible.
How do you not look at someone like that as corny, right? Because I think today a lot of the kids, right, they don't want to hear the older, you know, gentlemen. Sometimes they want to, because they feel like they know, you know. So
absolutely.
Like, how did you like look at Mr. Stewart and be like, you know, he's actually like someone I could probably like model after, right? So like,
absolutely.
How'd you see yourself in him? Like, how'd you not look at him as like corny? You know what I'm saying? What things did that he have that was distinguishable?
Well, I guess, you know, for myself and for the people, I mean, he has a son around my age who's a little bit older, so I guess that, you know, that was the draw too. It wasn't just like I was just going talking to this old man, you know, but he had a son around my age, so you know, if we're hanging out at his house, you know, or just on the corner, you know, he would come up and talk to us. So I guess it was the timing, you know, and he was approachable. So it wasn't like he was just like, yo, y'all some bad kids, or you're doing this wrong, but it was just more so, you know, giving us information and helping to put us on a path. Kind of like a teacher, you know, in his own sense, you know. By him being a roofer, he helped out. Well, not, he showed other friends of mine how to get into that particular trade, and said, hey, and eventually that can be a life-living trade where they can learn to become a roofer, and it's something that could be sustainable. So it wasn't just like he was just walking up and talking to us and preaching to us, but I think it was just the timing. Yeah, it was the timing and how he did it, you know.
That's the definition of an educator. I think what he did was he had a skill, but he taught y'all probably life through his skills, right?
Absolutely,
you know?
yes.
And through his actions of being I'm sure he was a father, right? And he was there.
Yes.
You got to see that, right? Because it was just him talking, you know what I'm saying? So that just talks about like the importance of just like model figures, and it is like the stigma that like these communities that are having these crimes and stuff like that, they don't have any. No one wants to solve those issues that live in those communities, right?
Absolutely.
No one. They're just sitting back and letting the stuff happen, right? Like, if you want to march, you better march on black on black violence. Like when someone gets shot, like we do not like we don't have a problem with that, and we are not like trying to like investigate and get that stuff fixed, right? There are actual people in there doing the work, man.
Absolutely, and they don't. I don't think that they, put together an agenda to do it, but it's just something that naturally flows, and they see the problems, and they're attempting to solve the problems just based off their nature. It's off the natural way of things itself. Especially in our community, when you see the community going down, you want to put in some action steps, or just say, hey, let me just go out here and clean this up, or hey, let me just talk to the guys while they're out there shooting basketball, or let me play a game of basketball with them. And then you're able to spread a message or plant a seed in that particular fashion.
Wow, straps. Wow.